Hey guys, welcome back to the main track. My name is Mike and it's great to have you on board today. We are wrapping up a very busy summer. I've got quite a bit done on my layout, but I'm keeping that under wraps for right now. I have an exciting layout update video coming your way very soon, and I promise it's going to be well worth your wait. Well, earlier this summer, I had a chance to attend the National Train Show in Grapevine, Texas, which is just outside of Dallas. Had a really amazing weekend down there, and I was able to have a great time meeting a lot of you guys, including our friend Devin Jackson. And I'd like to thank Devin for hooking me up with this really cool hat from his Mesquite Bell Railroad. If you'd like to take a look at what he has going on with his layout, I have a link to his YouTube channel in the video description for this episode right here. Well, as I've mentioned before, one of my favorite parts of train shows, other than, of course, getting to shop for trains, is getting to see everyone's handiwork through their layouts. So I wanted to take this episode today to show you some of the cool ones that stood out to me this time at the National Train Show. One of the biggest layouts by far at this show was this HO scale masterpiece from the Gulf Western Modular Railroad Society from Corpus Christi, Texas. One of the neat features that stood out to me was this balloon track for a grain elevator. It certainly breaks up the linear scenes we're accustomed to seeing on modular layouts like this. Well, there's some pretty cool detailed scenes like this train derailment. Check out the heavy machinery involved in the cleanup and the spilled loads of grain from the hoppers. With a layout this big, you definitely need an engine facility for all of your units. The Gulf Western members made sure to include that alongside this massive classification yard. One of the coolest modules replicated a petrochemical plant, and you can bet it took a lot of hours to wire all the lighting in the complex. Keeping with the South Texas theme of oil and chemicals, there was this pretty sizable tank farm that looks to have no less than a dozen storage tanks. The Los Angeles Metrolink commuter train is a long ways from home, but having lived out in California years ago, I really enjoyed seeing it making the rounds. Well, I give some big props to the Society for their lighting. Of course, lighting can certainly make or break a scene on a layout. I think these overhead units do a superb job of illuminating the scenes.
We'll see, yeah.
With a layout this big and a mainline run this long, you can certainly run some monster-length trains. One of the more expansive scenes is this intermodal terminal and port. Well, I couldn't sit and count them all, but I would bet there are hundreds of these containers stacked up between the yard and the actual ship itself in the background. There was quite a variety in the scenes, from the big industries to this neat small factory on one of the corner modules. Over at the Rapido booth, I had the chance to visit with the guys about the upcoming GP40 releases. It was pretty cool to see the renderings and mock-up of what the Katy units will look like. I know so many of us are pretty excited to have some of these on our layouts when they finally come out. And now to a layout we featured in episodes in some previous years, the Wisconsin and Michigan Model Railroad Club modular layout. This layout has some pretty impressive scenery, from the hills and rock croppings to all the trees, giving the feel you're in the geographic location of where this club is from. Well, I thought they also did an awesome job on their engine facility. This corner with a small town is chock full of details. The club has a scavenger hunt list for the visitors to find things all around the layout, and a few of those were hidden right in this spot. The Wisconsin and Michigan layout also had its own port scene. Well, they did a really good job running trains, carrying goods you'd find on the real trains up north in the Iron Range and the associated industries. Well, as you can imagine, the triple-track main line provided some really cool opportunities for some meets between trains. Well, I really like these old patched out Burlington Northern GE units. There were also plenty of massive N-scale displays. Dozens of modules from across the region were set up for the N-track layout. There were so many of these modules it was pretty hard to keep count, but a few did stand out to me, like this small farm town scene with detailed feed mills. The Northeast Oklahoma N-scalers were here with their awesome model of the Tulsa Union Depot and yard. I think I spy the joint Frisco and Katy, Texas special on the platform back there. The Best of Show Module Award went to this highly detailed town scene with a parade going on. The firework display was pretty creative and something I hadn't seen before. Well, I also like this recreation of the town of Richmond, Texas in 1951. Well, it's pretty nice. With N-scale, you have the room to create several square blocks in a town scene like this. And we went from tiny towns to big cities with these tall, high-rise skyscrapers. Moving way up in size was the Tinplate Trackers group from Austin. Well, I always thought part of the fun of this scale is being able to run big, fast trains. Well, even bigger were these models from a larger scale outdoor railroad with these beautiful classic Santa Fe F units. These locomotives certainly provided some good mood music with its horn echoing through the place. Well, I'm sure there were a lot of folks standing around, myself included, dreaming about having something like this in the backyard, but unlike the models at the vendor booths, I don't think these units were for sale. And back to HO scale, there are plenty of fantastic modules in the Fremo setup. I really like this one depicting scenery from the western U.S. The guys were running an appropriate Trinity Railway Express train from the local Dallas-Fort Worth commuter system. And if you've liked these layout tours, we have a lot more videos here on the channel showing you some of those shows we've been to and some of those really cool layouts we've looked at. We've got plenty of those in the playlist right here on the Main Track channel. I'll put a link to that in the description. We'll see you next time right here on the Main Track.